NFT BZL? What's up? Oh, for all of you guys who are like NFT Twitter, Discord, we say GM? Right. If you don't know what that is, we'll get to that later. It's so cool to meet you guys in real life, IRL in Miami. This is literally like the intersection of all of our crypto and digital ambitions, passions, investments, intersecting with like the physical world. This is all coming together. Yeah. What we're doing here together is really exciting. So again, a thank you and a shout out to the organizers who put this together so that we can celebrate and educate. So that's what we're going to do here. This is the top of the day. We're in the education phase, like literally beginner stuff. NFT 101. We'll start with who we are. I'm Roz, Gold-Onwude. I'm a sports broadcaster for ESPN. I cover NBA and WNBA. I'm also an angel investor and an NFT collector and community member. Yeah, I'm in these streets. And I've been here since January. I'm like a noob plus. I'm learning, I'm making a lot of friends, and I'm excited to be with these people here. What's up, Swan?
What's up, Roz? It's so amazing to meet you in person. Hi, everyone. I'm Swan. I spent most of my life in the corporate world leading digital marketing for companies like Nike, Estee Lauder, and Revlon. I now get to be a creator on Clubhouse, and I really am passionate about democratizing information and access to anything I'm curious about. Right now, it happens to be NFTs and blockchain.
Woo! Same here. What up, Will?
What's up, everybody? Will Weinraub, born and raised right here in Miami. So excited, super excited to be here where the Miami Heat play. It's like a dream come true to just be in this arena on stage. It's like a pinch me moment. Co-founder and CEO of On-Chain Studios. We're making a digital interactive collectibles company called Cryptoys. If you don't know about it, check it out, cryptoys.io. I also invest in startups through Flamingo Capital. Really excited to be here, and yeah, just talk about NFTs. Should be fun.
Facts, me too.
Yeah.
You know, I started this thing off, I said GM. A few people, give me a woo if you know what GM is. Oh, you guys are experts. No, so first of all, start with GM, and just in general, like, language is really important. Like, language often is a good cue for identity and membership in a community that you care about. So there's lots of jargon going on in the space. So GM is like, good morning. And
right.
People, you know, especially on Twitter, people say it top of the day. I'm a good morning all day type. You could say it at night. There is a GN as well. So GM, GN. What else would you bring up?
Well, it's confusing because GM is used often, but then people see GMI and they're like, Good Morning Incorporated?
Right.
So you add one letter and it changes. GMI is gonna make it. It is so early for all of us, and we're all trying to figure this out. And the attitude of positivity and inclusivity is bounded by gonna make it.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then, of course, there's...
We're all gonna make it, right?
We're all gonna make it!
It's funny, we're doing these things, because like, you probably have seen these acronyms on Twitter, and you're like, what the hell is that? Why are a bunch of people just saying WAG me to each other and GM to each other?
Yeah.
So again, a lot of people learning about NFTs here for the first time. Roz, you said January, so you feel like a noob. The good thing about this space, we're all noobs. There's no such thing as an expert in the NFT space. We're all learning together. So like, WAG me, we're all gonna make it. It's like, we're all here together, we're learning, we're building. So that's like, there's an ethos behind that, not just a term.
You know, Will, I actually heard you speaking on Spaces, and
Yeah.
I followed you immediately. I was like, not only does this guy get it, he has a lot of experience, he's building amazing things with On-Chain Studios in the space, but you have a really nice way of making it easy to digest. So NFT 101, I'll start with you. Like, what is an NFT?
So for me, NFT stands for non-fungible token. I think like just a way to break it down, like certain things are fungible, meaning you can exchange one thing for another. Like Bitcoin, for example, that's a fungible token, meaning like if you gave me a Bitcoin and I gave you back a Bitcoin, there's no real difference between my Bitcoin and your Bitcoin. If you gave me a dollar, I gave you a dollar, that's a fungible transaction, right? But like an NFT, non-fungible means it's specific, it's one of one, it's unique, right? It's its own property. And to me, what NFTs represent, to put it in simple terms, is it makes the internet ownable. for the first time ever, right? If we look back, to like the advent of the internet, like really up until this point, the only thing we could own as like digital property was domain names, right? If you had like homes.com or water.com or something like that, that was like expensive, valuable digital property. And what NFTs allow you to do is to put ownership rights and scarcity on anything else that's digital. So all of a sudden, all these amazing opportunities open up, whether it's art or gaming or stuff like that, that we could do for the first time ever. So it's taking that ownership model, that verifiable, completely transparent ownership model, and applying that to anything else that's digital. And just incredible opportunities exist because of that.
This is my favorite question, because if you ask 10 people, they'll give you 10 different definitions, and they're all right. The way I look at it, because I didn't come from the tech world, is breaking it down to the basics. Blockchain is a universal ledger. And a ledger in accounting is just a record on the line connoting a transaction. So an NFT, for me, on the blockchain is a digital record. It might be a piece of art. It might be a record of a transaction, but it's a line item on that ledger that designates something happened or an asset. So of course, then the applications are much broader, but if you think of the blockchain as a universal ledger that everyone can see, everyone can write to, and we're just adding blocks, adding little lines on that ledger, that's how you then can think about all the different applications, because it goes back to the origin of just adding ledgers onto the blockchain.
Very well said. And I, really enjoy hearing these more technical breakdowns, or just trying to understanding like what this technology actually is. Where I always try to come from is a space of like, conceptually, why does this matter? And so for me, as someone who's exploring this space, and like, I haven't felt this inspired in a while, like, what I would say is exciting me about what an NFT is, starts with the technology itself. The fact that there is this ledger, this easy way of verifying ownership, transactional history, how it moved. And I think that could be very disruptive and significant for a lot of industries. What it means for communities. NFTs make stronger communities. And why is that important? Because the technology itself comes back to your ownership of the NFT. And when you own something, you're more invested, you're more likely to want to create a community around it, increase its value, and make this a great experience. So it makes stronger communities. As a creator myself, it empowers creators. You're going to hear so many great people on stage here today to tell you how it's changing literally their lives. So it empowers creators. And then one of the things that I'm really fascinated with right now is this idea of governance through your NFT, the idea that your conviction, what you're consuming, what you're putting money into, what you've created, like not only could it create something that could be worth money, but it could also, there's potential for it to give you a say or a voice in how it goes, and governance as well. And that's something we often don't see pre-NFTs. Like I feel like so much of the way I grew up, people I know, coming up, we work, we consume, we die. Like there isn't this grand understanding of the concept of ownership for most people in the world. And so I think NFTs have a chance to change that, and I'm excited about that. That's something I'm excited about. Y'all got some really cool ways that you're applying NFTs. Will, what are some of the ways NFTs are used that you're most excited about?
Oh my God, there's so many things. I mean, we go back to kind of the basic principles that NFTs make the internet ownable. I mean, so many opportunities exist. I'm so excited about what's happening in the music space, about really kind of bringing kind of power back to musicians and creators. What's happening in art, it's just like, this is our version of the Renaissance. It's like the creators' Renaissance, and it's so awesome to see kind of the rise of all these creators around the world, whether it be artists or musicians, kind of take control back of their lives and their finances and the stuff that they're making. I'm particularly bullish, and you're going to hear a lot about it today, on gaming. You just heard William Quigley talk. You're going to hear from the founder of Axie Infinity later today. Axie Infinity is an incredible story. There are neighborhoods right now in the Philippines that are making their entire living playing Axie Infinity, right? I mean, what's happening is just remarkable, and play to earn, I think, is going to be a huge wave. So I'm really focused on that. I'm really excited about that.
So what is your mission with On-Chain Studios, with gaming, and with the hot topic right now, play to earn?
Sure. I mean, on-chain studios for us, like if you think of what we're building, we're basically kind of building like an NFT native Nintendo. We're building a platform that has kind of these original kind of cast of characters, like our versions of like Mario and Luigi and things like that, and building a world around them where they can play different games and do play to earn, and making that accessible for the masses, like with no blockchain experience or crypto experience, having someone be onboarded, like what Top Shot did for sports fans, we want to do for casual gamers with Cryptoids and on-chain studios. So it's about like really introducing this new economy and all these opportunities to just everyday consumers. Yeah.
Swan, what's exciting you about about the way NFTs are being used?
I came from the brand world, and we've been in a lot of discussions about data and privacy. The cool thing about the wallet is that it's yours. It's
What's a
not
wallet, for those who may not?
It's the thing that holds your stuff in the blockchain. It's the simplest way to put it, right? It's where your NFTs are stored. It's where your crypto is stored. It's the way to access and move things around.
Yeah,
right?
I like to think of a wallet like your passport to Web3.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way. And your NFTs are your stamps in your passport. Right?
Yeah, exactly right. And it's yours. It's not Facebook's. It's not Google's. I actually think when we actually look at our wallets a year or two from now, we're going to see an imprint on who a person really is. Because you'll see the breadth of all the things they're engaging in, the NFTs they've bought, the POAPs, these little proof of attendance protocols. It's like a souvenir from an event that you attended, but you could only get it if you're there in person. Think about the picture of how rich our lives become. You find community that way. You find your tribe with people with similar wallets, but it is yours. And so then the greater implication is not only is that yours for data and privacy, brands can have actual D2C relationships with their consumers. So I came from Nike, and it was always so challenging. Imagine if you could put a chip in a shoe, and you know it comes off the supply chain line, it comes off the manufacturing factory, and you know exactly where it was made, so there's no, oh, it fell off the truck, I promise it's authentic. We know it's authentic because there's a chip in the shoe that's tied to a record on the blockchain. Then we know where it was sold. We know collectibles like Jordans, who it's sold to the second or the third person, or it's passed on in generations. I think companies like StockX and Goat have to rethink their strategies because we don't need them to authenticate our stuff. And if you're a company trying to reach your customers, so Nike does these drops every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific on the sneakers app. It's where the hottest shoes get dropped. You have to wake up crazy early, and everyone gets an L, a loss, because there's so few of them. So a lot of people who are high-value collectors don't wake up at 7 a.m. and try to hit refresh. They might buy 50 pairs of Jordans on the aftermarket off of StockX. Isn't that super valuable as a company to know that that's an amazing collector, but because they didn't buy through you directly, you have no idea. But you can see these public wallets, you can see that guy has 50 Jordans, I want him in my inner circle. So I think the implications for not just how we own our data, but how brands can actually start serving us as consumers, delivering value, it's going to change how we move about commerce.
All right, guys, rapid fire right now. I want to move through this quick and then finish on one question. So we're talking about wallets. There's a number of markets that you could go and buy on, whether it's OpenSea, Nifty, Foundation, all of that, super rare. However, there's also a process of minting. So for the people who are really at the beginning of their journey here, real quick, Will, what does it mean to mint?
Well, first of all,
right,
we got an important. You
want to do this term?
I mean,
probably nothing.
This is important, right? I think this is important for the whole Web3 culture. You might see this all the time. Probably nothing.
Probably nothing. Like an example, like an NFT conference at FTX Arena where the Miami Heat play. Probably nothing. Right. The Heat this arena was just named FTX Arena on the way in LA. Staples Center is about to turn to Crypto.com Arena.
Probably nothing.
Probably nothing.
Probably nothing.
Stephen Curry might be on an MVP campaign this season. His Twitter avatar, a Bored Ape.
Probably nothing.
Probably nothing.
Yep.
So just kind of our way. So when you see probably nothing, it's probably something.
There's a lot of sarcasm.
It's probably, so you should pay attention.
That's right.
Don't look away.
That's right.
It's
minting, yeah.
Yeah, and so I think that the main thing here too, because we've got to go, and I want to finish with looking forward into the future.
For sure.
But my advice to anybody new here is don't try to do this alone. I think this is a really social, for me it's very social. One, the space is moving so fast to stay up on information. I've got multiple NFT chat groups. Everybody's I'm trying to mint all the time, but how do I know when something's going to drop? You've got to get active. You can't stand on the sidelines and find out when things are happening. You've got to get in Discords. You've got to follow people on Twitter. You get out what you put in.
Yep.
So I think there's so much to talk about. That's why we got a whole day of conferences. But to finish this out, guys, final question, looking forward, what do you hope for the future or believe the future of NFTs has? What's next?
You said it. It was community. And this structure has the power to change our culture and how we live as a society. WAGMI is true, but honestly, it's still a pretty small circle. A few 100,000 people own NFTs.
Right.
So if I'm going to say one thing that I'm not only excited about, that I'm going to send you guys on a mission to, by being here, we are early. We're early adopters, and we're learning and creating. We're building together as we go. Bring more people in. This doesn't work if it's all a small group of people. It has to be mass adoption. So as you learn, go turn to the people left and right to you. Go meet them. Ask what they're working on. What are they curious about? Because this community, because of the benefits it can bring, is actually going to impact how we treat each other and how we live as a society.
Yeah, I mean, what's next? I mean, it feels like there's so much because to me, I feel like this is top of the first inning. This is the start. Like this is so like Swan said, we're so early. It's become like kind of like a memeable term in the space. Like we're early, but that's the truth. Like everyone here, if you're here, you're early in the space. This is like the emergence of Web3, and just like what we were talking about earlier, community is at the heart of this whole thing. I've had the most fun I've had professionally in my entire life in the past year. I mean, just the people that I've met, the connections that I've made, it's been truly special. And it's again, because we're all so new together. If somebody calls themselves an NFT expert, run. There's no NFT. We're all learning. So that's what's great about this. You know what I mean? Nobody can claim that. You know.
Read my blog. I've been here since March.
Right. Yeah, I've been here since 2020.
In crypto time, that's like 10 years.
Exactly.
That's a decade.
So again, that's what's great about it, and you know, the community here is really special. Everyone wants to help each other, right? It's not competitive. Everybody's just trying to kind of make connections and figure it out. To me, NFTs and Web3 made the internet fun again, and it really did. Like it made just everything. It was just like kind of back to our roots. And the thing with like Good Morning and GM and we're all gonna make it. It shows that we're just a bunch of humans, just trying to figure this all out together, right? There's no like flaunting or posing like for Instagram or things like that. We're all just a bunch of people getting up every single morning trying to figure it out. And GM to me represents, hey, there's a human behind this avatar. Let's kind of figure this out together. So for me, what Swan said, what's next is community, building community. This is the rise of community first, just like, places and spaces and industries. And then again, all the emerging industries are going to eventually have to have a Web3 strategy. Every big company is right now in the boardrooms right now. What's our NFT strategy? What's our blockchain strategy? And the folks that are in this room can shape that for them. You have the power to go to some of these companies and organizations and help them strategize. So I really encourage you to do that. Gaming, music, art, all this stuff. It's exciting, guys. I'm excited.
And I couldn't agree more about the community aspect. People like yourselves and Swan, we just met here, but are so helpful. For me also, I think this is about ownership as well. And the technology of ownership through the NFT. And I'm not sure the way we're using NFTs today is even how we'll be using it in 5 to 10 years from now. But I think we're talking about some explosive, game-changing ways that NFTs will be revolutionary and change, individual lives or industries. I also imagine a future with NFTs where it's just part of the minutia of everyday life, like the way we use paper, like when we go to a doctor's visit or we go to a festival or a concert or when a child is born, there'll be something that comes with that so that every moment and action and thing that we consume or produce or support, it all comes with something that we can hold and own and assign value to. And so that concept, again, I think is going to be quite liberating for all sorts of communities, especially those who haven't had that kind of access for a long time. So that's what I'm excited about for the future. We want to thank you all. That's the end of this. And Will, real quick, I'll come to you. We got Will, we got Swan, I'm Roz. What's up?